I would update on the funding applications that I was making or doing a couple of weeks ago. So I chased the Pavilion Dance Southwest bursary, which was for a week of studio space and a £750 cash support to deepen sort of practice or research or whatever it might be. So I applied to use the week's worth of space and to work alongside the other kind of artist using the other space to begin or to develop material that could be used in workshops with young people, and which included bringing young people into the space to run the workshops, to gather material for making Puffed Up Perlette as a dance theatre piece. So I think I might have spoken to I might have said about that before, I don't know, I can't remember. Yeah, of course I have, because that's the piece that I'm trying to fundraise for at the moment. So yes, I have heard back from those, and it was a no from them. They received 120 applications for only 2 spots. So, and I think some of the feedback, the sort of generic feedback, was just about other people, or it be going to people who are more like literally developing their practice as opposed to developing their material pieces and things like that. And there'll be a dance theatre commission, or not a commission, more like space for making for a piece in the spring or early in the new year 2026. So to sort of reapply then, but to be honest, I don't think I'm ever gonna really get a bursary as a dance maker, because I'm not currently a dance maker. I'm almost looking for that first sort of step up, or that help to kind of get on into that position. So for example, when I applied with videos and things like that, none of my videos were actually that relevant to the application. It's just that I don't have any films of me performing, any films of me choreographing or making, because I haven't made, and I haven't got examples of work because this is the first one. So it's a bit of a cycle in that sense, but if that's what they're looking for, then it needs to go to someone who is making, because there are lots of artists out there, practicing artists, who do need that space and money, specifically for Pavilion Dance Southwest want to fund. So that's fine. And then I heard from Born Free, who I'd applied to for £1,000 worth of funding to run Wiggles and Giggles at the Barrington Centre in Ferndale, and they actually got back with a yes, which was brilliant. So it means that Wiggles and Giggles is going to happen there. I haven't even had time to look at what I kind of allocated, but from what I know, it's not that highly paid.
Go to the roundabout and take the first exit.
Sorry, I'm just trying to work out whether this is the quickest way to go or not. I don't know.
Did 500
Yes,
feet, enter the
and
roundabout,
sat down to
take the
talking.
second exit.
So it wasn't that highly paid because I wanted to make sure that the money could be used to kind of embed a new offer, and so I wanted to be able to deliver like X amount of times, which means that each week might not have been paid that much to me. I also have quite low availability, so I was trying to work out whether I could pay someone else to do it, but I think it needs to be me, just because I'm taking practice that I'm developing over in Totton into Ferndale. So in that sense, there are 2 sort of strands of thought. One is working in close partnership with Ferndale Barrington Arts Centre to help develop what the offer might be. So although there is money allocated, seeing if they can really help to engage their local audiences and local community to create a really strong offer that's relevant to them, that's going to help them develop their audience. So I actually treat it like a bit like I am a Fluid Motion theatre company over in Totton Creative Hub, that it's about kind of matching 2 needs together rather than me just trying to develop an offer and get paid to teach it. Like, I want to actually embed it in the community and see whether it's needed and try and subsidise it as much as possible, and things like that. So yeah, that's really exciting, but I want to try and match fund. And there's an Arnold Clark Foundation, I think, that I'm thinking of going for. I might have mentioned that on the last call, but now I'm thinking I go for that to match fund Wiggles and Giggles either in Ferndale or Totton, It's got to be within 50 miles of a Arnold Clark branch, which is cars, like car sales and things, or dealerships. So the actual nearest one to Ferndown is in Totton, which made me think, oh, maybe it'd be a stronger case to go for it for Totton. But I think it would really help to strengthen the offer, to kind of put another £1,000 towards it in Ferndown. But if I do apply for it for Totton, then it would actually, I'd want Fluid Motion to try and match it in some way, in addition to matching it for space, to create a baby or an under ones offer basically. Because having now delivered to a bit of a smaller class once, because the summer holidays are over, there are a lot more babies in the room, which is lovely. There are no kind of really young babies, which I think they could be. So, and probably because Wiggles and Giggles currently doesn't accommodate that, because it's been so busy, that it's not really been that safe or applicable to babies. Like, they can't really engage with the materials or hear that, like, it's just so loud and hot, and it's not a place I would want to have taken my tiny child in the room full of 30 people that we were getting up to in summer holidays. So I'm thinking there is scope to run a baby class, but also scope to match fund for Barrington Centre. So that's really exciting anyway, to have got a little bit more work. I just need to decide or understand when I'm actually going to deliver it. And then, let me just see if I can get around this van. 2 seconds. I've got a big old roundabout to go around, which means using both my hands. 2 seconds. I'm driving Nathan's car. Ooh, 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 ooh. There we go. So yeah, hopefully this isn't making you feel too sick. Yes, and you can't just see up my nose. So yeah, that's the funding situation. And then obviously this is a fundraising update. So in relation to that, I'm just driving back from Jubilee School in Portsmouth, or Waterlooville. We delivered the first day of the Let's Get Messy project for them. Physically and practically, it's going very well, and the young people seem happy. They've been drifting in and out, but not in a kind of I'm disengaged, I'm leaving way, more like there isn't anything for me to do way, which I think is because it's quite relaxed, and actually the main mission is that as a team we get these murals on these walls, so it's got to happen. I've always been very process over product when it comes to working with young people, but there is this joint aim to just smash it out and get these murals up, which have been designed by Sarah Gager from the People's Front Room. But it is, I think actually it's fine. I don't think the young people are disengaged. I don't think they're bored. I think it's more that they're contributing and then taking some time away, sharing the paintbrushes, and just not hanging around to watch. They're just going off to sort of have a bit of a break, and then they come back and stuff. So I think it's been really successful. The only downside is that there was a set budget, and we've completely blown the materials budget. I think more so because we asked for the walls to be primed ahead of time, and that's now coming out of the materials budget. I just didn't realise the walls were so big, to be honest. So it was always going to cost a lot to make them exterior paint, ready for exterior and exterior mural to be put on, that's then waterproof and stuff. So the materials are just costing quite a lot of money. But it is, it's a tricky one, because it wasn't like I fundraised for this. I actually worked with somebody who was commissioning me to develop the project, and I had to submit the breakdown of costs before I actually knew the size of the wall, which was a bit of a stupid thing to have done. But I presented it as a range between 1,800 and 2,000, and then showed that it actually cost about 2,200 to run, because there was going to be a valuation as part of it, which I didn't know if they were interested in, but I would do regardless. So in the end, I've charged 2,000 for the job, but it's obviously now costing more than that. And what was I going to say? I can't remember what I was going to say. So yeah, and actually I don't think I would have got the work if I'd gone any higher. So they bulked at the 1,800 to 2K price. I had to justify it with the breakdown of cost, which I wouldn't usually present to the person commissioning me or like the funder, not well the funder you would, but not to someone paying you as a customer. Like, you wouldn't present that necessarily. So they then obviously were like happy to pay it, so I have invoiced for 2,000. But I think if I had pushed for any more than that, I wouldn't have got the work. So it's sort of a bit of a tricky one, because they've got 2 massive walls that they want to do in. That was the job as far as they're concerned. I couldn't have said, oh, I'll just do 1 wall then, because it's cheaper. And I couldn't have said, okay, we'll do 2 walls, but it'll cost 2,400. Like, they would have said no. So it's a difficult balance. It's the whole knowing your worth thing, isn't it? And actually, like, taking work, like at that stage I didn't know if there were any other projects available to deliver. I'm free in this week, so as long as like an artist is happy to deliver in the time frame I've got available and things like that, then actually it's a nice meaty bit of work. It's just a shame when we then have to start dipping into like our fees for our time to pay for things like paint that I thought might have come out of a different budget. So yeah, but it's been a really good day one, really sunny. I think we're just smashing it out really quickly because of the weather. It's due to really badly turn, but if it stays good, then we'll then end up sort of twiddling our thumbs, I think. So yeah, but anyways, I'm nearly home, and that's sort of my update on the money side of things. I need to work out what I'm doing with regards to more fundraising to match Wiggles and Giggles, or to continue the progress I made when I, what was an acorn hitting the car, when I went off on a tangent and ended up applying to Hayes Travel. So yes, I will update when I hear back from them, probably with an issue with the lack of governance I have. And actually, on that note, there's a couple of directors I found that are happy to work with me, so I shall let you know how that goes. Anyway, thank you for listening. I hope that was helpful and didn't make you feel sick, and I'll be in touch soon. Bye.